Hello, and welcome everybody to the third episode of the Tribeman podcast. We'd just like to tell you that we are now available on Spotify and YouTube under Tribeman Podcast. Tribeman being one word, space, podcast. This will be our third episode, and for our third guest, we have the current 145-pound champion at Rise of a Warrior, which is an MMA promotion in Fort Pierce, Florida. He will be fighting this Saturday night for the 155-pound title. He's trying to be the champ. He's the number 7th ranked fighter at the featherweight division in Florida and number 30th in the southeastern district or area of the country. That is Ian Steward. Give Ian a little round of applause. So, Ian, I know you understand the format of the podcast. We talked a little bit before. I'm sure you've watched at least one of the episodes. I asked you a series of questions. You just answer them as honestly as you can. And with that, what is your full name?
My full name is Ian Michael Steward.
Ian Michael. What area did you grow up in?
I grew up in upstate New York, a small town named Norwich.
Norwich. What age did you live there?
I lived there until I was 12 years old, and from there we moved to Texas. I lived in Texas for a few years in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, all around there, Frisco, McKinney, and after that, that's when I came to Florida.
So how old were you when you moved to Florida?
I think it's 16.
Yeah,
Yep.
12 plus 4. Yep. Yeah.
16.
I got you. So, I mean, I've never been to Norwich. Tell me a little bit about Norwich. Like I said, like if an alien came down from outer space, they landed at Norwich, and you were the first person they talked to. So tell me about the town.
They'd want to get out of there, man. We used to call that place Norhole. It's just a small town. There's really not much to do there. I mean, there's not much money, not much city or anything like there. So I mean, you got school, sports, and then you got trouble. So
usually when my family moved from Jersey from Philadelphia to New Jersey, it was more about the neighborhood was starting to go to shit. So my parents tried to kind of get me out of there, better opportunities. Now as far as Norwich to Texas, usually I mean to me it looks like your father probably jumped around. So what are you doing at Norwich for a career? Your father.
So my dad, he used to be in professional telecommunications, just as a telecommunication business. He worked there since he was young and worked his way up and got to vice president.
Oh shit! And
the reason we actually moved out of there is because they wanted him to move to Texas and build up another company that wasn't doing well there. So I mean, we lived good when we lived in Texas because they really helped him out and it was nice. But after that, eventually the business actually got bought out and we had to relocate. There was layoffs. He got fired, and he took his life savings, and we moved to Florida and started this outdoor kitchen business. And that's where we're at now.
I mean, I respect that. We're gonna talk about the barbecues after that, but I mean, and I remember you said something cool to me in a conversation earlier. In Norwich, your father owned a deer farm.
Yeah, he owned a deer farm. We had like actually 100 acres up there. Land is a little bit cheaper up there than here in Florida, but. It was good because it kept us out of trouble. We could go and do whatever, ride 4-wheelers on the land, whatever, instead of roaming around town and really nothing good.
What is a deer farm?
So he owned a whitetail deer farm where some people would come up and you could buy a trophy hunt, so you could go hunt a trophy buck, and basically we just put you in a stand and you shoot a trophy buck.
Yeah, it's like Fox Brown Outfitters out in Indiantown. They have something similar to that.
You also like you collect their semen and you sell their semen to other deer farmers that want to have you get a huge buck and you want to sell his semen.
Oh, really? Kind of like horses?
Yeah. So you can breed more huge bucks or horses or whatever. Yeah.
See, audience, I didn't know you could do that, but that's something new I learned today. So I'll give you that. Went over where you went. So fatherhood, you're a recent father, I will call it. Your daughter's
she's 18 months next week, so a year and a half.
So fatherhood, what's it been like?
It's been crazy. It's crazy. The whole time before I ever had a kid, and if I ever pictured myself having a kid, maybe it's because I don't have any sisters or anything, but I just always imagined a boy. I got this little girl now, and I'm happy, man. It's brought a lot of patience into my life for sure, and more love than I could ever imagine.
Because the same thing for me. Every man having a first child, prays for. Let me get, junior. You know what I mean? Yeah. But same thing happened to me. I had a daughter, but it opened up a part of myself where it's like, I don't know. It's like where you're not afraid to be a pussy, almost. You know what I mean? Like it's and I've noticed it's transferring from her to other people in the world. You know what I mean? So now I'm starting to look at other people through. All right, that's somebody's kid. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm a little bit more compassionate. No, I still have my flare-ups in traffic. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, that. As somebody for you who does what you do, MMA and stuff like that, to have a daughter, to do that for you, it kind of makes you human a little bit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's great. It opens me up, and I'm super happy.
I think it was almost like God gave you the girl. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Probably to help out your significant other. You know what I mean? Soften you up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
And I think the like she's sweet, man. It might even be a little easier to raise her at this age right now than a boy. So and my patience level is low, so I'm happy I started with the easier one, hopefully.
Like 2 and dude, when 2, 3, it starts to get so much fun, bro. By the time you get to 5, you can really start. I mean,
exactly.
It's fun, man. So you said we do with your father at the barbecue grills. I have occupation. So what exactly do you do for work?
So we build outdoor kitchens, like basically like people get them on the back of their patio or whatever, and I mean there's so many different customizations you can do with these outdoor kitchens. But yeah, we have I'll plug it. We have a outdoor kitchen store that just opened. And it's over right off Gatlin by the Walmart over there.
Oh, so it's a physical address. You can go in and like showroom. You can see things.
It's called Outdoor Kitchens Port St. Lucie.
Outdoor Kitchens Port St. Lucie on Gatlin.
Yes, sir.
Give the exact address so people can Google it.
It's. I wish I knew the exact.
I'll send it to Edgar. I'll send it to Edgar. You put it on the screen.
Brigantine Place.
Brigantine Place. That's awesome, dude. So like, all right, give me a recent job you did of I call them barbecues. That's what we always call them. These things are sick. The granite countertops. They got the fridge. They got the wine coolers. They got TVs.
We just built a 10-foot kitchen with a 5-foot L on it. Actually, it was a bigger kitchen, and these guys got all Napoleon grill, Napoleon outdoor fridge. I mean everything. Yeah. I mean, there's so much stuff you can put into one of these kitchens. It's crazy.
When I get my pool, which is probably gonna be next summer, I'm gonna go with them because I've seen their work. I follow them on social media.
Let's go. Yes, please follow us. Outdoor Kitchens, Port St. Lucie.
I mean, you think I'll follow Outdoor Kitchen. They're bad. If you're a dude, it's like I see these when you post them, like, hell yeah, that's what I want back here. I can buy some flipping burgers. I mean, it's a good little follow.
They're a luxury, man. It's definitely a luxury.
I look at cars. I mean, like I look at classic cars. I look at fucking barbecues. I look at pools. You know what I mean? It's like I look
alpha shit.
Yeah. I mean, I still got my sneaker fetish, but it's starting to be a little bit more manly with my shit. You know what I mean? But so how did you get into MMA? What age? Who introduced you? Why?
Well, my dad was a wrestler growing up, and he put me in wrestling. I started at 4 years old. He put me in wrestling, and really honestly, going up through Pee-wee wrestling in middle school and high school, like I feel like as I was getting towards the end of my high school career is when I started getting aggressive. When I was first growing up doing Pee-wees in middle school, I was there wrestling and having fun with my friends, but I didn't really care. Like I wasn't like my goal wasn't to win. I feel like I was just there having fun, and it was a good time. And then once I got out of like actually it was my senior year in high school. Basically, I started doing MMA. So that's I was like 17 or 18 when I started doing MMA, and I started actually wanting to win and getting aggressive and started actually focusing.
Well, you had to kind of want to win there. You're gonna get knocked the fuck out, right?
Exactly.
So like, did your dad have any wrestling? Your dad was the dad of wrestler in high school?
Yeah, he was actually the New York Empire State Games champion, a freestyle wrestling champion, and he also did Greco-Roman.
Shout out Dad. What's his first name?
Kurt
Stewart? Yeah, shout out Kurt Stewart. I'm gonna give him a Google later.
He's the man.
I mean, they say like my mother's just started jiu-jitsu, but they say men specifically who go into wrestling as a kid, they usually wind up with a good life path. You know what I mean? It teaches responsibility, hard work, grind. Exactly. It's just a hard ass practice. I did it for a little bit. Oh, dude, hard ass practice, bro. Yes. I mean, but it does prepare for me. So, my next question I have here is, how much time have you put in the sport as a whole? Would you say?
I mean, if you include those years of wrestling, me
mixed martial arts,
up, then basically my whole life.
So from you're 26.
4 years old, yeah.
22 years, right, Edgar?
Yeah,
22 years. Damn, 22 years. I'm fucking and they're whooping people's ass, dude. Man, I said, what does a typical week in training camp look like for a fighter who is prepared when stepping into the octagon for his fight? So a typical week during training camp for someone who you feel is prepared when they step into the octagon, not win or lose, but they're prepared to fight that fight. What do you think?
I mean, man, it's probably so different depending on from person to person and what their lives consist of. But I mean, I think as long as you're focused every day and you got a support group and you're trying to, lock in on different, getting better at different things every day. If you're, like for me personally, I like to have a class where we're focused on wrestling. I like to have a class where we're focused on striking.
Specifics?
Yeah. A class where we're focused on jiu-jitsu and just, pushing yourself and holding yourself accountable. And I think if you're consistency is the biggest thing. I feel like if you're consistent and you're trying to get better every day and you're holding yourself accountable, there's no way you're not going to get better and you're going to keep yourself ready for these fight camps as long as you're training every day.
So you said specifics for a week. So give me Monday through Saturday. What's a
So for me personally, it's I used to do 2-a-days. Now with work and the kid and everything, it's I'm just training about basically one time a day for about 2 hours. But Monday for me it's Monday wrestling. Tuesday is Thailand Tuesdays, so we're working on stand up. Wednesdays jiu-jitsu. Thursdays I'm back to stand up. Friday we're doing situational roles, situational sparring. Saturdays sparring, and Sundays isn't. I try to chill out on Sundays. Maybe get a swimming on Sunday night and get ready for Monday, and just active rest on Sunday.
That Monday practice probably the hardest one of the week, huh?
Yeah, wrestling's always the biggest grind.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Whew, man, that room gets hot. So I have. What has MMA helped you? What has MMA done for your physical, mental, and spiritual?
Man, so much, man. Because as far as my physical, I mean, it's keeping me in shape, and just being in shape and knowing that I'm working hard also helps my mental and helps me have self-worth, self-respect, self-pride, all that stuff. And I mean, it definitely keeps me out of trouble. I mean, if I'm not in fight camp or taking things serious, I could be going out and having too much fun versus if I'm in fight camp and I'm training and I'm taking everything serious, man, it's keeping me locked in. I can't really go out and have fun. I can't really go out and drink and stuff like that because I know I got practice tomorrow, or I can't go out and drink tonight because I got practice tonight, or whatever. And it's just it keeps me locked in, and it keeps me doing better in the other parts of my life. You know what I'm saying? I can't go out. Well, then I'm home and I'm actually doing the things I need to get done. Doing the dishes, making my own food. It just keeps me locked in, and I think it's good for me and my mental and everything. So
because when I from outside perspective looking in on your your team, I look at it like it's like there's some wild boys in there, but there's some wild reform boys in there that know what to say to keep the other boys wanting to get in that gym. Exactly, you know what I mean? You guys keep each other accountable, and it's so important. That's why we sponsor it, man, because it's like really. We own treatment centers. It's keeping people from getting us or the jail. You know what I mean? I see it in real time looking at it. You know what I mean? And
so many people out of trouble. And I mean, just knowing that you're working hard and having self-respect, it'll help you keep yourself out of trouble because, man, you're doing good and you want to keep doing good. And you'll feel it when you slip up. And I know that I'm doing better when I'm in fight camp. I'm eating cleaner. I feel like I'm being a better boyfriend. I feel like I'm being a better dad.
Example.
It's just everything. It makes me feel good about myself.
And you say self-respect. It also teaches you respect of others too.
Respect of others.
I remember I don't even know if you remember this. The first
respect yourself to respect others.
For sure. But I walked in there. I've always been an athlete. The first day I was in the garage, and my first 2 rounds. My first round was against Danny, where he just jabbed me to death, beat my ass. And my second round was against you, and I got you. I jumped Gilly right away. It's the only move I knew, and I held it the whole time. And I felt like you didn't tap at all, didn't struggle at all. You just let me do it. And I thought, pretty good. And then Dan's like, he's gonna fuck you up. Watch. And I'm like, what? And then you fucked me up. You tapped me out in 20 seconds in the next round. It's like, but I realized, holy shit, you were probably 23 at the time. I was 33 at the time. I'm like, there's people out here who can fuck me up that I don't even think. You know what I mean? It's like it humbles you very much.
There's levels to this game.
No, dude. I mean, it was seconds, dude. You were giggling at me, really, in your head. You know what I mean? But I'm in there thinking, I'm like, thank God I came in this garage. I'd rather have it happen there than someplace else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. And you were very humble about it. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. But I was like, holy shit. You know what I mean?
Everyone loves a good rough up.
So pro aspirations for MMA. All the dudes that have been here so far, and everyone I talk about in the team, they're like, yo, Ian's got to go. He's got everything. He's got 5 tools. He can do it.
Yeah, I want to go pro. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go pro after this fight. I'm gonna get this win and probably go pro. I don't think. I feel like I could get more amateur fights. Like I'm 5-1 right now. I'll be 6-1 after I win this fight. Yeah. And some people have 16 fights.
Yeah, for sure.
But I know right now, man, these amateurs have really got nothing for me. They got nothing for me. I'm gonna have to go pro. But
he's not really. Yeah. He's not talking. He's not blowing smoke about his ass. I've been at every fight. His last one was quick, man. They said the last kid was gonna beat you on the feet, and it didn't last that long on the feet. You cracked him with a punch and took him down, and
30-second fight.
Yeah, and you cracked him. It was like Khabib Conor, pretty much. You know what I mean? You rocked him on. Awesome. So to be determined with the pro, but it's in the pipeline. He's saying. Give me your favorite fighter, past and present.
John Jones.
John Jones.
So he's John Jones actually grew up about 15 minutes from where I said Norwich, New York.
Okay.
He grew up in Rochester, Ithaca. So it's same area. We used to watch him wrestle. Even as a kid, my dad used to watch him wrestle, and I used to go to the tournaments and before he was ever a fighter or anything like that. So I've liked him forever.
Yeah, John Jones, I'm going to tag you in this, man. That's probably one of your earliest fans right here, sitting right here.
Let's go.
So give me since you're a 145-pound champ. So give me your favorite fighter at 145 and your favorite fighter at 155. Historically.
Dang, I mean,
A lot.
To be
Frank
honest,
Yeager.
I'm so bad at like keeping up with like which fighters are featherweight.
Well, they
like,
jump a lot, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
like Volk is
And
145.
Volk's
Max
what was
145.
What was Khabib? He had to be
Khabib
heavier.
155, yeah. So
155. So Khabib's got to be my favorite 155.
all right,
I guess.
and then 145. So it's like Volk, Ilya Taporia.
Let's go with Conor McGregor. I mean, he
Oh yeah,
fought at
he
45,
was champion.
right?
Yeah, that was his
I
first
love
belt.
Conor.
All right, Connor.
Everyone
I
loves
love
Conor.
it. He's my favorite. Yeah.
Everyone
John
loves
Jones
Conor.
made me like the sport when he beat who did he beat Shogun Rua for the title?
Shogun Rua,
yeah,
yes.
I got hooked. My brother was a fan. My younger brother was a fan before that. I sat down. I watched that with him. I was hooked. And then when Connor came in, whoo. I mean,
Connor just he's
you agree with his-
he's hilarious. He's a businessman
Yes.
and he's a great athlete.
So do you agree with his decision not to take the fight or postpone the fight because of the broken toe injury or whatever it was? Do you agree with that?
I mean, yeah, who knows whatever's really going on in his fight camp. You
Yeah,
never know, or
yeah.
at home or whatever. So I mean, if obviously he wasn't feeling ready, so yeah, I agree with it. If you're not ready, then
He has so much more to lose, outside of the sport with a loss. You know what I mean? Because he hasn't won in a while. So I mean, I would like to see him go in at 100%. You know what I mean? Because he did go into the Khabib fight with the hurt leg. So I mean, I'd like to see what happened then too. But all right. So what's your walkout song?
this time I'm coming out to "Enter Sandman" by
Hell,
Metallica.
what? Place gonna go nuts. They better drop the lights for that.
Yeah.
All right. So what makes a good walkout? What makes a good walkout song? What's the walkout song for your mentality? What's the goal?
For me personally, I mean, I feel like the walkout song, I'm really doing it more to hype up the crowd, I think, than anything. I feel like I'm so locked in at that moment that, like, usually half the time, I'm not even thinking about my song when I'm walking out just because I'm focused on the fight and what's going on. But I really want to hype up the crowd with the walkout song. I feel like that makes it way more fun. So I feel like that's my goal.
So having it done it twice unsuccessfully, like what do you zone in on when you're walking out? Because that's like the most freak out. Like that took me out of the whole. It took me out of my head. Just all the people, see people I knew in the crowd. Like, it took me out of my whole aura. What do you? What would you recommend to focus on when you walk through
like
that?
when I'm walking out, I'm more locked in on this. I'm focusing on being present in the moment and just my breathing, really, man. Just a mindset of getting into a flow state and just taking deep breaths and taking everything slow and not trying to, I'm trying to calm my nerves more than anything and not be all psyched up when I get in there and just be confident in myself.
So don't get someone to slap you in the face before you step in the octagon.
Yeah, I do like to I do like to slap my legs and slap myself a little bit just to get ready to feel something. But,
Yeah. All right. So I did the complete opposite of that. So if I ever get back in there, I
the Dan slapped the crap out
slapped
of
the
you.
shit out of me, dude. That was the hardest hit I took off. I didn't even get punched in the fight. That was only punch I took. Yeah.
That was a rough one.
Yeah. Well, bump your head, you learn. You know what I mean? While we're on the topic, give me one word to describe Dan Donaldson. For the record, he's the owner
Donaldson,
of
dog.
Yeah, dog.
No, altruistic is the word.
Altruistic. All right, so you have to define altruistic for me. But first, let me define. Dan Donaldson is the promoter owner of Rise of Warrior, where Ian is 145th champ. They have a card this Saturday, July 13th. Starts at 5:30, I believe.
Yeah.
But
Altruistic.
give me altruistic.
Oh,
Explain what it
You're
is.
gonna make me look funny. I think altruistic it's just basically like being selfless. Not really caring about yourself and trying to obviously he loves himself, but he worries about everyone else. I mean, he's providing a place for all of us to train, and he's always putting on for the city, and he's just I feel like he cares so much and would do anything to help anyone that he sees just trying to help themselves. So altruistic is just not being selfish and putting. He's like family is another word I could say because he's like everyone's dad. He's like everyone's dad out here. He's family to everyone, and he's always offering a helping hand. So
I will agree with everything you just said. It's also not even just a place to. He answers the phone too, and when he answers the phone, he tries to help you. He tries.
really
You
cares.
see the effort. Yeah. So friend, I have a lot of cousins from Philly. I call them Philly cousins who you aren't really related to, but they grew up with you.
Exactly.
That's kind of what I consider him. You know what I mean? He's a good dude all around. But yeah, July 13th this Saturday. Come out. It's the best night out on the Treasure Coast. I always say that, but it's the best night out. So what is the Treasure Coast Cartel? We see a lot about it on IG. What is it?
It's a family. It's a group of guys. It's a team, and we all are training with Daniel Donaldson, and he's this team. We're all pushing each other, and the Treasure Coast Cartel is just our name, but that's the team of guys that all get together and push ourselves to be better.
Squad. It's mixed martial artists, athletes, everything from just strictly grappling to kickboxers to MMA athletes. There's females on the team as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We get so many people that come in and out, and there's people that are very consistent, and then there's people that show up once in a while, and that's fine too.
Yeah, it truly is. It's like a it's a community. I wouldn't even call it a fight team. It really is like a community.
So we're like a family of fighters.
Yeah, for real. Because like, if someone has a birthday or someone has a kid, like these are all there. You know what I mean? I mean, there's more kids in practice now. Yeah,
other people bring their baby. I mean, we're all here to help each other, man. It's we I mean, after every practice, we stay after, we all talk and hang out, and it's we're all just making each other better.
And so I don't even see you guys check on each other's mental health. It's like, hey man, how you doing? How you really doing? It's like we least expect that coming from you guys, but I see, I'm like, man, you know, it's gotten me to do it with my own friends. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing.
You don't hear from someone, you gotta be on them. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Where you
that's
at?
the most intimidating because like when you're in front of my face saying that, it's like I can't even get out of this anyway because they can beat my ass. So I gotta fucking talk. You know what I mean? So it's, I mean, it really is a good thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. So I got what type of human makes a good MMA athlete?
Ooh.
Some people are built for it, some people aren't.
What type of human makes a good
like
MMA
I know
athlete?
I'm not used. You know what I mean? I'm not a pussy, but I'm not used. You know what I mean? Like used are a little
I think the biggest thing that makes a good MMA athlete is someone that really inspires to do it and truly wants to do it, because that means that they're going to be consistent, and consistency is the biggest thing over anything. I mean, you could be a good athlete, and someone that's consistent, that's not a good athlete, is going to end up moving above you, because consistency, you're 1% better every day. So I think consistency is always the most important thing, and part of being consistent is truly enjoying it and having some self-discipline.
So
sorry if I
no. I love everything you said, right? But to be like Jalen Hurts, or to be Bryce Harper, or to be, I don't know, Sidney Crosby, you have to have all those things you just said. But if I throw an incomplete pass with no time left on the clock, or I strike out to end the game, or I turn over the puck and leads to a goal that ends the game, that's not as embarrassing or as hurtful as getting knocked out in front of fucking 60,000 people. It's like, that's what I mean different. Like, what makes you, I know you're not okay with getting hit, but you're okay with the chance. I mean,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you're nuts a little bit.
I'm not even okay with it. I mean, I think it's kind of a little humiliating probably for anyone. I mean, you get beat up in a fight in front of your friends, family, whatever. But
you got like that Genghis Khan's in you. You know what I mean? Like, user.
Yeah, you gotta be ready.
You have all of that little bit of ticks up. You know what I mean?
But I think it's still the consistency. You know, it's you get beat up and you go, who cares? And you keep moving on. You keep being consistent, and eventually you will grow to be the best. I mean, look at these fighters out there that are in the UFC now that won big losses, big losing streaks, and
Dustin.
And they stay consistent. And then think about Charles Oliveira. He had so many ups and downs, but he stayed consistent, and he's known to be one of the best fighters ever.
And I see like Elijah Morales, right? For example, first
dog.
Dog. First time I saw him fight, he lost at Rise. I haven't seen him lose since.
No, man. And think about, I mean, there's so many people. Bashmir, who had a bunch of losses in the first. Went on like a 6-fight all knockouts.
He started listening. But he also started listening to Dan, started being with the team.
See, that's
he got it.
I think me personally, like that's hard, man. If I went out and lost my first 5 MMA, I'd probably be like, man, this ain't for me. He's got more heart than anyone, bro. Yeah. That guy's got heart.
Is he fighting for a belt this weekend?
I think he might be the co-main.
I
think he's fighting for a belt.
Bash, hell yeah.
Another knockout coming his way, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and all these guys are good dudes. They all work. He works, I think, at the Walmart or the Amazon factory. All these dudes all work, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy,
and then they train.
Man.
Like, use a really
work, train, and then man. And you got life outside of that.
They're not just like prison reformer thugs or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are honest, men that fucking work. They do more than I do every day, for sure. So I got what's the most important component to fighting? Technique, gas tank, heart, etc.
Once again, I'd say consistency, man. I think it's always going to come back to being consistent, because you could have heart, but if you're not being consistent, where's it going to get you? You could be great at anything, but if you're not being consistent, then you're going to fall off.
Yeah, I saw Frank Mir say in an interview. He's like a black belt, whatever. But he's like, if I take like a month or two off and I go back to the gym, like I'll have brown and blue belts or purple belts beat me because I'm not consistent.
Yeah, and it starts keeps muscle memory, it keeps everything, and you're going to get better. I mean. Shane Mistretta, I mean, I've been doing this my whole life, and Shane's been doing this for a few years now, and he's grown almost as good as everyone else on the team. Yeah. I mean, because he's the dog. He's the most consistent person on the team. He's constantly, he'll never miss. He's always there to help someone, bro. I mean,
always.
Shout out Shane.
And like mild mannered introvert too. Like, if I had that kind of skill, I'd be like, you know what I mean, pop off my chest and shit like that. But mild mannered as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you realize quick if you train all the time, man. It takes that ego a little bit away.
It does for sure. For sure.
It's weird because it gives you some ego, but it also takes it from you.
Yeah. There's always a bigger shark in the pool, you know what I mean?
Exactly, man. Anything can happen.
So, will you let your daughter watch you compete, and if so, at what age?
She's coming to this ride.
Oh, all right, 18 months. Hell yeah, bro. All right, I like it.
My girl's gonna take her and give her some little headphones so it's not too loud for her, and she'll be there.
She got a seat in our section if she wants. You know, it's the party section, so let them know. All right, so speaking of your girl, how confident are you that you could get your girl to go on a date with you at this current age if you were strangers?
Oh man, I mean her specifically. I'm 100% confident. She loves me, man.
Yeah, is the love.
But I got that thing for her. So
all right.
I mean, any other girl.
So 100%, you ask her out. All right. Where was your first date?
Oh man, our first date I think was at a pizza place in. I actually met her in Norwich, New York.
Oh really?
Yeah, her family lived in Ocala, Florida. I went to Florida with her first originally.
Oh really?
So yeah, but. What happened, man? I moved out of my parents' house when I was like 15, and went and lived with her for a minute at her cousin's house. Yeah. And it was before we were even dating. And then I was living with her, and I was like, man, I kind of like her. So I started making my moves and got
there.
There
you go. That's history. That's a good story, though. That's a true love story.
Yeah, we've been together since we were 16.
What's her first name?
10 years.
What's her first name?
Her first name is Jessie.
All right, shout out Jessie.
Jessie Lee Orlando.
Oh, that's a good name.
Shout out.
I like the name. I'll be Steward at the end of that soon. So, how many people in the world do you completely trust?
Oh, man, just the people I call family, I guess. I mean,
I'll say with your daughter, with your bank account, with your phone. Completely trust.
A handful, man, maybe like 4.
4 people. That's about the max I would say. 4. Yeah. Anything outside of that, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
4.
Just the people I consider family, really.
And you learn who those 4 people are, like usually after a hardship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or struggles. You know what I mean? You usually think you have a lot more than you do, but 4 is a good number. Jesus in disguise, right? They say you should treat everybody as if they were Jesus in disguise. What makes a good person to you?
Damn, getting philosophical. A good person to me is, I mean, there's so many different types of good, man, and no one's ever going to be perfect. I think a good person to me is someone that is present and consistently, actually making the effort to try to do better and help themselves and help others. And I think a part of it is just being present and actually thinking like, am I trying to do the right thing right now? Am I trying to be a good person? Because it doesn't matter how good you are. We're all sinful. We're all going to mess up. So I think it's just about being present and trying to make the right decisions. I think that's what makes a good person. I mean, if you meant good in your heart, and I think that means you're doing good.
That's a 10 out of 10 explanation there, folks.
I hope that's a good answer.
That was phenomenal. Going to clip it for sure. All right, last question. Sell me on buying a ticket to Rise of a Warrior this upcoming Saturday night. Why should I go?
I mean, bro, it's the best MMA show on the Treasure Coast, if not the best MMA show in Florida. I mean, I'm the title fight. It's gonna be action, man. You're gonna be seeing some knockouts. It's a great time. Then it's a huge crowd. Everyone that comes there has fun, bro. We're all family. We're all friends. Why would you not go?
It's like a family reunion at the fights. DJ's lit.
It really is. Yeah, DJ. There's drinks.
There's open bar.
There's food trucks.
Yeah, food trucks out front.
Man,
great time.
You're supporting local talent.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so support local. They always say buy local. Support local. All these fighters are coming from the Treasure Coast. Come out, spend your money, have a good night. Yeah. And with that, this will be our conclusion of our 3rd episode of Tribeman Podcast. Again, you can catch us on Spotify and YouTube. And I want to give my guest Ian another round of applause. Wish him luck tonight, Saturday night on his fight.
Thank you so much. You're the man, Tom.
I know it's gonna be a dub. Haven't seen you lose. So that's it. Thanks for listening.